Anyway, let's jump in. So, the CDC, what does the CDC mean? What is that? CDC, you hear that? What is that? Some controlling centers? I don't know. CDC. Stands for Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's what it stands for. They added, like, it's not CDCP, right? So the P is like an extra. It's like a bonus, you know? They taped it on there with Scotch tape. So anyway, the CDC, it's a good organization. I love the CDC. And Exhibit B of the CDC being a great organization. But also the onus for this is not just on the CDC, of course. It's on the Biden administration. Joe Biden decided the pandemic was over one day. He didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell anyone at the CDC. He didn't tell his health secretary. He just decided, pandemic's over. No more COVID funding. Fuck it. Now Republicans have the House. No COVID funding. It's over. It's gone. Bye. Bye-bye. So anyway, this headline buries the lead a little bit here. Approximately 80% of the COVID hires for, healthcare professionals, epidemiologists, all that, people that track the disease, about 80% of them have been fired or laid off, I guess is the term. As COVID-19 raged, now again, CNN, a far right-wing news outlet. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. A far right-wing news outlet owned and operated by a Trumper, right? Half the people that work there are Republicans. Half of them are Democrats. Both parties agree the pandemic's over. Climate change? Nah. Doesn't exist. Cancer? What's cancer? Cancer's over. We cured it. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden claimed to have the cure for cancer. I wouldn't be surprised if that was something he could. The pandemic's over. Cancer's over. Heart disease? Never going to happen again. Because CNN is on the case. So anyway, my point here is that CNN is a far right-wing organization. Raged in the past tense. COVID worse now than it ever has been, but it raged. It raged. I also love the word raged. Oh, it raged. Really? It raged? I know, I focused too much on the language. I knocked my microphone over. It raged. Okay, so as COVID-19 raged, past tense, roughly 4,000 highly skilled epidemiologists, communications specialists, and public health nurses were hired by a nonprofit tied to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to plug the holes at battered public health departments on the front lines. But over the past few months, the majority of the CDC Foundation's contracts for those public health workers at local and state departments have ended, as the group has spent nearly all of its almost $289 million in COVID relief funding. Now again, Joe Biden went against the Democratic Party in the House and the Senate, and on his own. Now again, it's possible they made a deal in the back room, and Joe Biden was going to do this one, and the others are going to back off so that they don't get the flack. It's possible, right? But Joe Biden announced, I want to say it was like September. Maybe it was August, that no more COVID funding. He stripped it from whatever bills that were being passed at the time. He stripped it all. That's what he did. He said, all right, everybody, I have decreed COVID's over. And then again, on his 60 Minutes show, when was that? October? I don't keep track of time anymore. Maybe that was late September. He said the pandemic's over. So step one, right? This is before the election. Step one, say Donald Trump should never be president because X amount of Americans died. Step two, kill X, times 5 amount of Americans that you tweeted about earlier. Step 3, declare the pandemic over. Step 4, declare the pandemic over. Step 5, declare it over. Step 6, declare the pandemic over. Step 7, strip all COVID funding away. Step 8, declare the pandemic over one more time. That's the Joe Biden COVID policy. I know. The liberals get pissed the fuck off when you talk about it. The Democrats, they get mad. How dare you suggest that we are as bad as Republicans? On the issue of COVID, now again, not every issue Democrats are as bad as Republicans, but on the issue of COVID, on the issue of eugenics, Democrats, honestly, I'm willing to say, might be worse than Republicans, given the entire carte blanche that they get from the media. So, I don't know. Like, when Donald Trump was president, a lot of people in the media were talking about how he mishandled COVID. Everyone. Oh, Trump is letting the pandemic kill people. Trump is... And then Biden takes office, does, and again, worse. He does worse on the pandemic. Worse. And everyone is silent. Nobody. I don't know what to say. So anyway, let's keep going. Over the past few months, the majority of the CDC Foundation's contracts for those public health workers at local and state departments have ended. As the group has spent nearly all of its $289 million in COVID relief funding, the CDC Foundation, an independent nonprofit that supports the CDC's work, anticipates that no more than about 800 of its 4,000 hires will ultimately staff those jurisdictions, spokesperson Pierce Nielsen said. That has left many local and state health departments facing staffing shortages as the nation eyes a possible winter uptick in COVID cases and grapples with the ongoing threat of monkeypox, exploding caseloads of sexually transmitted infections, and other public health issues. Notably missing from this, by the way, is RSV. You know. Are they even talking about the flu? No. It's just monkeypox. Let's keep talking about the monkeypox. And only the gays get monkeypox, right, CNN? CNN has published multiple disinformation, fake news articles about how monkeypox is a gay disease or exclusive to gay communities. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's interesting that they choose to talk about monkeypox and sexually transmitted infections, but nothing else. Right? Isn't that weird? Not the flu, RSV, anything else going on? Nah. Monkeypox and STDs. They want that association in your brain. That's right. The monkeypox is an STD. It's not an STD, right? I mean, you can transmit it sexually, but you can transmit a lot of things sexually as well as with coughing. So, but again, they want that association. They want you to think monkeypox is an STD that only gay people get. That's what they want. Why? Why would CNN want this? Because it's a far right-wing organization. The public health workforce in the U.S. has been underfunded for decades. Just before the start of the pandemic, only 28% of local health departments had an epidemiologist or a statistician. A 2020 Associated Press KHN investigation found. Then, after the pandemic began, public health officials left in droves as they were lambasted for instituting COVID rules, blamed for economic downturn, and grappled with burnout? And if funding were available to retain all 4,000 foundation employees, that would not have met public health staffing needs. According to new research, the Journal of Public Health Management and Practice, the research says at least 80,000 new employees are required for state and local public health departments to implement the minimum package of public health services. Okay, so you need 80,000. You got 800. What's required? 80,000. What the government will give you? 800. Who's in charge? Joe Biden. Can someone help me out with math here? Like, what is the percentage? 800, 80,000. For those of you that don't know anything about math, it's 1%. Joe Biden said, we'll do 1% of what's required when it comes to researching how we can stop this pandemic. Do 1%. 1%. Think about it. Think about other examples of where 1% would be brought up, right? Like, oh yeah, imagine this. right? I'm in school, and I'm filling out my homework, and there's however many questions. I bust out the calculator. I decide I'm gonna do 1% of my homework. Maybe it's like an open-ended question, and it's like, they want X amount of words, and I do 1% of the words required. I would fail. I did only 1% of my work. You're Joe Biden? Because this is the thing. The right wing loves genocide. They love eugenics. They love neo-Nazism. It's true. That's factual. The Republicans are pretty much a lightning rod for the right wing. Republicans, right wing, synonymous in this country. The problem is there is no left wing equivalent. The Democratic Party, which, again, ostensibly, theoretically would represent a left wing, is also a far right wing organization. It's just how it is. It's just, look at Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. They're right wingers. It's just, there's like maybe 10 people in the House that you can even call left wingers. Like, the rest are like neoliberal pseudo-progressives at best. Right? So again, now the right wing loves to attack the Democratic Party, right? Because they're the opposition party to them. But the right wing and the Democratic Party agree. Neo-Nazism is based. Eugenics is based. I'm Joe Biden. I love eugenics. Now again, we're at this point where recently white people have become the most likely death. If you're going to do this by skin color, racial demographics, white people are the highest racial group at risk of dying of COVID now. So the eugenics plan, try to kill all the black people, all the immigrants. It worked for the first 2 years, but now it appears that the white people are in the crosshairs. So I don't know. We'll see. Will they save face? Now that they know that the white people are in the crosshairs, are they going to save face? Probably not. But again, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party agree when it comes to eugenics. That is their shared policy goal, eugenics. So you can read the rest of this if you'd like, but it just goes into more details about what's needed, how it's not happening, and just other vague nonsense. The CDC is a failure. I tweeted this out earlier, and it was a profound statement, so I'm going to say it again. Imagine this. What is the CDC? What is it? Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, right? That's what it's called. Centers, there's multiple, more than one center, and their goal is to control and prevent disease. That's their goal. Now imagine this. I go down to the Bojangles down the street, and I get a job as a fry cook. 3 days later, the manager comes in, and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in a wooden chair. I'm not frying. I'm not cooking at all. I'm doing neither of those things. I'm like jerking off or fucking, I don't know, I'm eating a hamburger. I'm doing something. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway. Then the manager is like, yo, what the fuck? And then instead of firing me, they fire everyone else. That's what just happened at the CDC. That's like, again, think about this. The people that were hired specifically to combat disinformation and to increase public access to healthcare during a pandemic and information, they got fired. The people that do nothing, they keep their jobs. Walensky, she keeps her job. Everyone else at the CDC, they're golden. Think about this. Now again, I get hired as a fry cook. I don't fry. I don't cook. Everyone else gets fired. That is the CDC director's job. That's her story. So, again, and who stripped COVID funding out of bills? Democrats. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer had to sign off on it, obviously, right? But Joe Biden announced COVID funding gone. He made a big deal about it because it was like, there was like a bill for COVID funding and Ukraine funding, and he made a big deal about, oh yeah, we support Ukraine. Good. But do you support Americans? So again, these people are monsters. I don't know what to tell you, man. They're monsters. They're evil. It's evil. But guess what? Evil doesn't exist. There is no evil. There is no good. There's certainly no good. I'll tell you this much. Evil, debatable. There might be evil. Good. Where's that Family Feud Red X? Put that fucking shit on the screen. There is no good. Good is make-believe. Evil, debatable. But, I don't know, man. What do you do? What do we do in this instance? What do you do? Go to work? Get a disease that destroys your fucking immune system? Similar to AIDS. And then get it again, and die. That's what we do. No one cares. Nobody cares. I need you to understand this. And, I don't know what y'all's life situations are like. I don't know if you visit your family. I don't know if you go outside or work outside of home. But if you do, if you are someone that has gotten COVID multiple times, right? There have been studies that have come out that said getting COVID once could theoretically reduce your lifespan by 10 years. I probably covered that on the show. I read a lot of COVID stuff, and I try to cover most of it on the show. But what do you do? Well, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's go out there and get sick 3 times, 5 times a year with a deadly disease. Fuck it. And that's the thing. We just have to live with this. I mean, again, look at the flu. I talked about this yesterday, but look at the flu. The flu. Think about it. We know every single year 40,000 people will die of the flu. We know that. And what do we do to prevent it? You guessed it. Nothing. We do nothing. There is no prevention. 40,000 people die every year from the flu. We know it's going to happen. And we do nothing. We do nothing. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. That is crazy. Again, it's the American psychopathy. They don't care. They don't care about disabled people. Oh, you're disabled? Pfft, just go die off. That's what the average American thinks. They don't care about disabled people. They don't care about old people. Fuck you, Grandma. Remember when COVID started and Republicans were going on Fox News saying Grandma needs to sacrifice herself for capitalism? Literally. They said that. They said that. Republican politicians. The lieutenant governor of Texas literally said Grandma might have to sacrifice herself for money, for capitalism. No one cares. I mean, again, there's mass shootings in this country like once a week. 5 times a week, even in some instances, like over the summer. What do we do about it? You guessed it. You guessed it. You just fucking figured it out. We did nothing. We did nothing. We will do nothing. No one cares. No one cares at all. They don't care. Again, I talk about human sacrifice. Oh, those crazy fucking, like, indigenous civilizations in Mexico that would sacrifice people at the top of those pyramids. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. How? Oh, they thought that killing someone at the pyramid would bring a rain season. Dumbass motherfuckers. But imagine this. Imagine a dumbass motherfucker who says, yeah, I want to kill 40,000 people a year so that I can get to Wendy's about 5 minutes faster. I'm talking about speed limits. Speed limits. Another example. Every time you increase the speed limits, you know people will die. That's a fact. It's a fact. It's predictable. People have predicted it, and their predictions came true every single time. a speed limit has been increased. There's a formula. I think it's like every 5 points, the speed limit gets increased. It's about like 5-ish% increased fatality rate. Someone look this up, though. We know that. So imagine this. You tell me, human sacrifice. These people sacrificing a fucking virgin at the top of the pyramid and watching the blood trick down. They thought that they would get some fucking crops. They thought that they were feeding their entire fucking civilization. Modern society. Oh, I want to get to Wendy's 4 minutes faster. So, fuck it. A couple hundred people have to die so I can get to Wendy's in 4 minutes shorter time. Fuck yeah, bitch. Kill them. Kill them all. That's the American psychopathy. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I know I talked about this at length yesterday. I don't want to talk about it too much today. I'm going to move on in a little bit here, but it's fucking nuts. It's nuts. And some people are proud of it. Some people are proud. They're proud. Like we had this dumb fuck come into the stream. They're proud. Yes, I am a serial killer and I'm fucking proud of it. Yes, I advocate to murder people I disagree with and I love it. Like, think about it. It's crazy. It's crazy shit. It's crazy shit. It's crazy. We got some crazy ass motherfuckers running around the asylum. We got some crazy ass fuck everyone else. Disabled people. Fuck them. Minorities. Fuck them. Hey, if someone goes to fight in a war for my country and they come back without an arm, fuck them. That's the average American. So anyway, 80% layoffs at the CDC's COVID response, like, you know, whatever it is. So that's great.